S Word, featuring Will Gavin and Master Tess Fassian. And a squad of big-name contributors. The S Word from talkSPORT.
Hello and welcome to the S Word, brought to you by talkSPORT and talkSPORT's S Word YouTube channel with myself, Flex, and Mr. Master Tess Fassian. Mr. Master Tess Fassian, who is not beside me as we speak right now. He is all the way out there in the States. Yeah, there he is. I can see you signing, bro. You're out there in the States. You didn't fancy joining me here. You leave me here. I'll hold down the fort while you get into the action.
It's okay, Flex. Listen, Flex. I still came prepared. I'm wearing the Chua Mini, jersey. So, I knew you was on the show, so I came here for a fight.
I like it, bro. I like it. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of fun. With another huge day of fantastic football, which might have included one of the biggest World Cup shocks you will ever see. Is it the biggest one in history? We're going to find out. African football expert Ali Howarth, he'll be joining us as well to break down an unbelievable 24 hours of action. We'll discuss the tournament debutants Cape Verde as well and their stunning game over reigning European champions Spain. We'll review Egypt's gritty draw against Belgium as well and look ahead to Senegal's massive opening fixture tonight. And speaking of that Group I blockbuster, former L'Equipe editor and French football expert Erik Bielderman will be joining us and dropping by to preview France's chances against Senegal and tell us if Les Bleus are ready to avoid a repeat of what happened in that infamous 2002 game between the two nations. Then amidst all the fierce tactical battles and tournament drama, we have the brilliant reminder of what the World Cup is all about. It's about the fans. And we'll be speaking to viral Scottish sensation John MacLean about his incredible act of kindness after gifting his spare ticket to a 16-year-old fan who had been scammed of a ticket ahead of the Tartan Army's opener. What a story that is. I can't wait to get into that. And also on the show, things are guaranteed to get heated as myself and Master go head-to-head in a massive debate because he's gassed. He's getting carried away because he's seen his team score a few goals with home advantage. Yeah, with home advantage, and he thinks
staying home, Flex.
Hey,
it's staying home.
This is not the debate. This is the opener. This is not your time right now. I'm just setting the scene.
I came with the Chua Mini energy, bro. I'm ready to bust some heads today.
We'll be asking who's going to go further in this World Cup. Is it going to be USA? Obviously not. Or is it going to be England? And finally, we'll be heading across the Atlantic as well to get the ultimate inside track on the shock of the tournament with the Athletics' Felipe Cardenas. He's been embedded inside the Spanish training camp all week and was in the stadium last night, and we'll be talking about what went wrong for Spain, that and of course so much more. You're watching the S Word here, sponsored by Kalshi. Master. First of all,
good to see you, man.
Do you know what? It is good to see you. It's finally, it's good to kind of have a show together where I feel like I'm always dropping in, quickly going at you. You go at me, then you go at me in the comments after that. Then I go back at you in the comments again, and then we do it all again on another guest appearance. It's nice that we can prolong this into a whole 2-hour show. I hope the viewers aren't mad.
Hey, man, I'm excited for this one. Big fan of yours, obviously. I think you're an amazing person. It's unfortunate, that you are a United fan and that you do support.
Hey, no club talk, mate. It's World Cup. It's World Cup.
I was getting to that. I was doing a whole macro analysis of your fanhood, But you at least you're the sensible English fan, So I do respect that.
Exactly. It's going to be a great show, man. Listen, after another massive day of stories and entertaining games yesterday, we saw all 4 games ending in a draw, which sometimes you can think that would have been a boring day of the games, right? They all finished with draws. But if anything, if you watch the games and you follow the narratives, it was anything but boring. We have to start at only one place, bro, and that's in Atlanta.
Of course.
We have to start with Cape Verde, Cabos Verde, against the reigning European champions Spain. I'm just going to throw this out there before I ask you what you think of it and break it down. I have to straight off the bat, I have to hold my hands up. I'm in a bad place, bro. My name's being dragged.
Tell me why, Flex. Well, please tell me.
Right.
And rightfully so. Yes. Rightfully so, your name's being dragged.
My name's being dragged. So. I think you're a man who's on social media a lot. You probably would have seen this. I've had to apologise, bro. I've had to apologise to the whole Cape Verde. I know Cape Verde's not even that big, but I had to apologise to all of them. Nah, seriously. Bro, I said they were going to lose 8-0. 8-0, but with serious chest. And there was people around the desk, shout out Robbie. He was going, listen, man, you haven't seen these guys in the AFCON. I'm telling you, I goes, listen, Curacao held 7 yesterday. This is the European champions. They're holding minimum 8. I don't want to hear. He's like, they got Portuguese speaking players. I said they can speak what they want. 8. Bro, 0-0. You know, it's halftime.
They couldn't even get a goal on them. They couldn't even get a goal on Cape Verde, bro.
So I apologize.
Listen, it's okay. You were just like every other European who was dismissing the fact of this expanded tournament and thinking that there was going to be a lot of boring group games come out of this. But lo and behold, it has been a tremendous tournament so far. In Cape Verde, I'm glad Robbie mentioned that, because if you did watch Cape Verde during World Cup qualifiers, you would have known. I could have saved you, bro. You would have known, man. I've been on this broadcast the entire time. I've been in the back room as people saying who's going to get up to watch Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia. And I'm telling you right now, that match is going to be massive now because of these 2 results. Cape Verde came out, showed out. They got a huge following here, a huge population, a huge immigrant base in Boston. They turned out. They got some beautiful people as well, as we should acknowledge as well. Some
they do.
Cape Verde
They do.
Some wonderful
Absolutely.
people. They got a great chance. They have a great support. And, hey, man, that's the beauty of the World Cup.
It is.
People can talk about this being like haram and all that stuff and comparing it to all these other low blocks that we've seen. Flex, they committed only 1 foul.
Yeah, crazy.
All match.
Crazy.
1 foul. Against the defending European champions.
Yeah. And then they won it. Bro, they could have won it. Counter attack, he chose the wrong option, the player, and then the header from the corner right at the end, that was like a hearts in mouth, like, oh my God, he's free. He's got a free header. It was crazy. So, and then there's like, what do you expect Cape Verde to do? What? Open up and try and put it on Spain and do what I thought would happen, which is lose 8-0? No, they were incredible, man. And bro, the keeper's 40 years of age.
Bro,
he's 40.
40 years.
Damn.
40 years. He had 50,000 Instagram followers yesterday morning. Now, Flex, I just checked. He has more followers than Victor Wembanyama. He has over 6.5, 6.7.
Bro, I saw it at 1.5 million last night. 6 point something.
He's out of here, bro.
Oh,
he's out of here, bro.
Days.
I literally saw a screenshot. I got to pull this up. That showed that he has more followers than Victor Wembanyama.
That is incredible.
He has the same amount of 6.2 million followers. He has the same amount of followers as Victor Wembanyama.
Oh my!
Right now.
Well, do you know what? I know, because you do love your football, so you wouldn't be probably in this obnoxious bit. But does this not prove to you how big football actually is? Because the Americans are always saying, you know, the NBA, the NFL's like, this just also unequivocally proves just how massive the game of football actually is. Like, I know we know that, but it emphasizes that, right?
When you're seeing Tim Payne going crazy and going viral in New Zealand and his following count jumping before the World Cup even starts off of one streamer.
Crazy,
when you're seeing now Cape Verde's goalkeeper now jumping from 50,000 to 6.2 million. It's not even comparable, bro. It's really not.
No, it's
not. I need you right now. I need that direct apology to the Cape Verdean
Again,
people. I need you to please, because I know you was tight at that second water break. The second hydration break, you're like, Lamine Yamal coming on, Nico Williams coming on. You're like, all right, here comes 2 or 3 goals.
No, I still said 8
came.
even then. I was like, people were messaging me saying, at halftime, they're messaging me saying about that 8-0. I'm like, don't worry, second half. Drinks breaks, like you said, Lamine Yamal, what, you still reckon 8, Flex? I said, game's not over yet, man. I was so stubborn. But you know what? Capo Verde fans, Cape Verde fans, Cape Verdeans? Is that what?
Cape Verdeans.
Cape Verdeans, right? I want to make sure I get it right. I don't want to have any more disrespect to this nation. I want to get everything correct, right? Cape Verdeans, I apologize. I was not familiar with your game. I apologize to other smaller nations that I have written off. I apologize to the millions and millions of fans who I'm basically telling you don't have any hope because your nations don't have a chance. I was wrong. But do you know who else was wrong? Do you know who else was wrong, Master? Is all the people that predicted Spain to win. All the people that said Spain would win maybe 3-0. Nobody, I didn't see one person say, tell you what, mate, it's going to be a tight game this. I'm going to go 0-0. Nobody said that. So everyone was wrong. Not just me. But my disrespect.
Come on.
No, but my disrespect was.
Bring it back to yourself.
Well, okay. But my.
Because I will say, on this air, me and Mike LaHood have been on this air, and I have been behind the scenes. Again, I'll be honest. Yeah. I didn't think they were going to beat Spain. I didn't think it was going to be a draw. I thought they were going to lose.
Yes.
But I did warn people.
Yes.
All throughout talkSPORT, internally, and I warned them on the show. Do not sleep on Cape Verde.
Yeah.
This is a side that is very structurally organized, great form. They can catch you on the counter. If they had a little bit more quality, as you mentioned, they could have walked away with 3 points here. But this is a side that could sneak in as a third place team. In fact, I think I do have them as one of the third place sides in my bracket. So
imagine that. Imagine they get out of the groups, bro. Damn. So I apologize. I do.
But hey, man, Africa. Listen, it was the first two matches. It was Africa versus Europe, and hey, man, flex. What's up with you Europeans,
worry,
bro? That Europeans exceptionalism conversation and dialogue. Everyone putting their nose up, talking about what are all these small nations doing in this tournament. And now look what's going on with Europe right now, bro. Talk to me.
All right, listen. We're gonna get to Spain in 2 seconds, right? But hear me out here, right? First of all, bro, what the European teams have worked out, obviously Germany are a bit different. We've worked out that the jeopardy isn't there. You could finish. You could lose a bunch of games and win one, and you're through. Yeah, this World Cup's different, so it's very hot. We don't need to overexert ourselves too much at the start. That's what we've learned. Also, I was there with
Spain was in the dome,
bro.
Spain was inside. They had AC.
They had AC. They was in the Mercedes-Benz. I've been there. Oh,
they had Netherlands
so cool
had
inside
AC.
there.
It's nice and cool. 77 degrees.
They tried to have a sangria break, bro. They didn't even need a sangria break, bro. They didn't even need that. Do you know, on Spain, like, because, again, the new format, it's like, okay, they got a point on the board. A lot of people were saying, you know, it's fine. You know, they didn't lose. It's very embarrassing. And the bigger story is like, oh my God, wow for Cape Verde, and not, oh my God, is Spain going to qualify? But what do you think this does mean for Spain? Because they were looking very frustrated. You know, De La Fuente was on the sideline. He's turning around, going to his bench, like what the heck is this? He's mentioned so many times that this is the best team in the tournament going into it. And listen, they missed some sitters. Cape Verde got to ride their luck. You know, they hit the crossbar. There was some sitters that they missed as well. Where do you think Spain are at with that? Is this going to just awaken the beast and get sort of Nico Williams back in there, get Lamine Yamal back in there, and then it's business as usual?
They better hope. That's the case. Because listen, the finishing quality, the product that they have outside of Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams is not World Cup winning quality. Oyarzabal, of course, he's had a great season at Real Sociedad. He was someone that a lot of people picked to potentially win the Golden Boot. He was invisible in that match. I think in the first 30 minutes, he didn't touch the ball. He didn't have a touch in the match. Mm-hmm. So, the finishing quality from this Spanish side has to be concerning, because we've talked a lot about depth being a huge aspect of this expanded World Cup. And if that's the depth you have behind Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, who are coming back from injury, that is a bit concerning. And Flex, it gets even more concerning when you have Rodri coming out and being an absolute sore loser after the fact and complaining about how negative Cape Verde played.
Yeah,
again,
that's poor.
Cape Verde only committed one foul in the whole match.
Yeah,
this wasn't like this was some sort of dark arts and they were playing some haram ball. Yes, they were very defensive, but how else are you supposed to play Spain
100%.
when you are a massive underdog? So for him to come out and be that visibly frustrated after the match shows, A, he was a sore loser, and B, the mentality of this team right now is visibly frustrated, and probably Cape Verde has impacted their confidence to some extent. I'm not saying it's enough for them to not win the World Cup and pull to Argentina after their first match of a disappointing start and going on a run. But, I mean, this Spanish side does have questions now that need to be answered if, in fact, we do expect them to make a deep run. And look, hats off to Cape Verde, 100%. One other thing to note. The hydration break, as many people have complained about the hydration break, we have seen it have a massive impact in these games and momentum, and a lot of it has to come down to coaching. So there's an element of Luis de la Fuente, which people have to look at right now and question his ability, because you had 2 hydration breaks to make adjustments, to make tactical changes, to make substitutions, and you still were not able to break down and score against Spain. I think that was a huge concern as well.
Yeah, I think it was just one of those games where, you know, it just wouldn't go in as well. Like, sometimes that just happens, right? I do think it was one of those. I think Spain will be fine. I think Spain will get back to doing what they do. But 100%, questions need to be asked after that first game. But they're questions that I think Spain will answer in their next group game. Right, we've got some more games to talk about. Where do you want to take it?
I mean, we talked about Belgium and Egypt a little bit.
Let's do it.
Man, this Belgium side, every single time you want to put hope in them and think, oh, they got an easy draw, they should run away with this group. What a disappointing performance, man.
Yeah, it was.
And hats off to Egypt, man. They took it to them. They brought it to them. They were not scared. They were fearless the entire time. On Mo Salah's birthday, they gave it their best. Probably could have walked away with 3 points, if we're being quite honest, if it wasn't for the own goal and Lukaku coming in and making that run that led to the own goal. But, man, I'm telling you right now, man, like, I'm bundling in Belgium. I'm bundling in Netherlands. Outside of Germany dominating Curacao, which unfortunately I think Curacao is the worst team in this World Cup. I need to see more from Europe, man. I need to see more from Europe. I know it's the first match. You want to talk all about this. The expanded format allows more teams to come in, but if you're not getting results, you're not getting points, you're gonna mess around and be Germany in 2022 and miss out on the knockout stage. So that's my concern right now for Europe. Is I'm not seeing enough from them, and it feels like they're coming in a bit lackadaisical than I anticipated.
Yeah, it is early days. I mean, if you look at the Belgian side, you do expect more from it. We know that that golden generation is cooked. That golden generation is gone. This is a new look side with a couple holding on. You know, Lukaku couldn't even start the game. De Bruyne, he's had a lot of injuries this year. So what level is he at? And he did okay. But you know, you're looking at Tillemans and Onana, that's an Aston Villa pairing right there. They know each other very well. You're expecting 100%. Them to be dominate and running a lot of games. Doku, we know the type of season he's had. He's improved his end product. He's been fantastic. And your boy Leandro Trossard is a Premier League winner coming off the back of a good season as well. So you would expect, I think it's fair to say 100%, you would expect a lot more from that Belgian side. I mean, the Egyptians, though, they did work tirelessly. Hard workers. They were working with intensity. They did what needed to be done. And Mo Salah, playing centrally as well, spent most of his career coming from the right-hand side on the wing and impacting games, playing more centrally, and still found a way to do that on his birthday, getting an assist as well, which is massive. And it was actually written on the stars because on his 34th birthday, he provided that assist. He's become the first African player recorded in World Cup history since 1966 to register a goal involvement on his birthday. So that's another thing.
Amazing.
Mo Salah's put on his mantelpiece of like records that he's broken. And yeah, it might not be the same Mo Salah. And listen, the Egyptian team versus that Liverpool team he's been in for so many years up until just leaving is a completely different kettle of fish. We know they had a rough time. What was it, in Russia? I want to say 2018. So they've had a rough time as an international group. Same in Qatar, but. It's a great point, and I think again with the format that you're looking at, if you get a point on the board in one of the games that was maybe one of your tougher games first off, now the other nations are going, wow, we've got a point on the board. Can you even go through a free draw?
But Iran got a point on the board. New Zealand got a point on the board. Like you go to Uruguay and Saudi Arabia, they got a point on the board.
Yeah.
So because historically 4 draws, we saw 4 draws.
That's
yesterday. Crazy. That's only happened. This is the second time that's happened in World Cup history. 4 draws. Look, Fex, I know you guys are trying to integrate the World Cup and trying to get Americans on board with this thing. That's one way to do it. Because the Americans are so against ties and draws, and to give
no
us 4
overtime?
draws, 4 thrilling draws.
No overtime. We go home. No OT.
to give us 4 draws, but 4 thrilling draws. Okay, you guys are making your mark. All right, we get it. We get it. You guys are making your mark on this tournament. One last thing I want to point out real quick.
Yeah.
On the Spain thing, because I was trying to pull up the stat, but I didn't want to be factually inaccurate.
Yeah.
I know you said you're not concerned with Spain, but I want to give you this insane stat. Okay. Since they won the World Cup in 2010. Spain's national team has only won 3 World Cup matches. 3. Okay? Australia in 2014, Iran in 2018, Costa Rica in 2022. For the rest of the records, 6 draws and 3 losses. So I'm just throwing that out there.
You want them to do bad, innit? The European champions. Because you're just like, forget Europe. They're not coming out here. They're not coming.
Listen,
Europeans ain't coming here doing damn anything. I don't even know if I can swear on that.
I mean, you did more than enough. But listen, I love Europe. I love going around Europe. I love going to matches in Europe. I have an admiration with all the countries in Europe. But when I saw all the Europeans coming at Americans, saying we're not going to create an atmosphere, saying the stadiums aren't going to be packed. Yes, political issues aside, because pretty much every single World Cup at this point is going to have political issues, as we've seen for the last decade or so. Like the bashing that was going on towards Americans from the Europeans, the format, the extension, the hydration, it got to a point where I'm just like, you know what? If Europe does well, cool. If they don't, I will be here with a huge smile on my face, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the reaction will be as each European nation gets eliminated and the United States is still there in the tournament.
Look at this hate. Look at this.
It's not hate. It's not.
You're hating on the Europeans.
You give the banter. Yeah? You give the banter. You got to take it back. That's all I'm saying. You can't go cry wolf all of a sudden when you start throwing rocks and hiding hands.
Listen, the European teams are going to be absolutely fine, bro. We're going to be absolutely fine. I say we.
So?
You know what? I don't care about the other European teams. I'm not tribal like that. Why am I repping Europe? Bro, Jamaica are not there. So I'm annoyed about that. So I was very, to be fair, I was very bitter about that. I wanted Curacao to like lose by a lot because they took our spot. But that's really bad to think that.
You got your wish.
Because they're another Caribbean island. Nah, yeah, but I feel, but then when it actually happened, you know, like the reality of like, nah, that's wrong. No, they represent the Caribbean.
They got their goal though. They got their goal. That's all they came for.
And what I loved about that is that it wasn't like a goal for no reason. Like it wasn't a consolation. No. It was 1-1. Like this was a big goal.
It was 1-1 for 10 minutes. Yeah. They were tied with the 3-time World Cup winners, like
which
4-time World Cup winners. That's it. That's all they need,
bro. English fans will tell you. I don't care about. I don't want Belgium to do well. I want France to do well. I want Spain. Good.
Why not?
I'm with you. Good.
Why not?
Get knocked out.
What?
I want England to win the World Cup. Get rid of these teams. Because if we have to face Spain, if we have to face Germany, if we have to pull up on these Portugal and stuff, we usually crap the bed, bro. We've got a bad record. You know this. We haven't done anything since 66. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here, even though the American is telling me, is trash talking about the European teams. When I thought about it, I was about to clap back and I went, good. I don't care. I don't care. I only care if you cuss England. I don't care. The rest of the European teams, you're damn right. Belgium, you disgraces. Good. I hope you don't qualify. Spain, you disgraces. I hope you don't qualify. So, listen, we've got a lot more coming up on the show. We're going to be speaking to Alistair Howarth, African football expert Erik Bielderman, used to be at L'Equipe. He's going to give us a lowdown on France as well, and Felipe Cardenas as well. He's going to give us a lowdown on South American teams. So much more to get into. You're watching the S-Word here, sponsored by Kalshi.
Bringing all the biggest football debates stateside. The S-Word from talkSPORT. presents the S Word. High energy exchanges, fiery fan reactions, and the biggest football debate. The S Word from talkSPORT.
Welcome back, guys. This is the S Word here on talkSPORT with myself, Flex, and live from New York.
Why you sound so tired, bro?
Well,
what the energy at, man?
Well, do you know what? Do you know what? I was because I've received news from the England camp. Yeah, you've been speaking about the Europeans. There's been an injury.
Now you're down.
Yeah,
okay.
so live from New York, we've got Master Test fashion, of course. Yeah, but there's a little bit of breaking news.
Shout out Kelsey.
Basically, the news is that Tino Livramento is about to fly home from the World Cup. He's picked up a calf injury and is out for the incoming World Cup matches. So the FA are set to confirm the extent of that later on. Trevor Chalobah is among the options to replace the Newcastle defender. And do you know what, Master? We got a lot to talk about really, really quickly, but it was like I told you so. I was really annoyed about that, but there's a lot more coming up about that at the top of the next hour because it has annoyed me. It has annoyed me. Right, we mentioned
Harry Maguire.
He's on Netflix right now. I don't even know if he's chilling. He's on Netflix. He's openly angry.
He's already in
about
America,
Exactly. He's in New York right now. But it's not going to be Harry Maguire. It should be, but it probably won't be. I think it's going to be Chalobah, which is an even bigger disgrace. But more about that at the top of the next hour. That's why there's no energy, bro. All right, we mentioned it at the top of the show.
I can sense it, bro. We started off so well. Commercial break came, and all of a sudden,
I know.
You had your head down. Chin up, man. Chin up, chest out. Come on. Chin up, chest out.
Do you know what it is? I just need England to play. I can't wait for tomorrow. I just need us to play. That's what it is. I feel like I just need us to dominate and get a good win and stop all this nonsense. That's what needs to happen. And it will.
That's how I felt before the USA match. Before the World Cup tournament, that's how I felt too. They delivered for me. For your sake, Flex, because you the homie, I hope it happens for you too.
It will. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Take a page out of America's playbook.
Yeah.
America!
Oh, God, listen to this. Is this what happens here? Is this what it's like?
Oh yeah. You should ask Will. Will didn't give you a heads up.
I need it. Where's ours? Where's our sound bites? Have we got that, Gabe? Produce? What do you mean no? He's saying no. We haven't got anyone. It's only for you.
It's an American show, baby.
It's ridiculous. America! Right, we've spoken about it at the top of the show. What an incredible performance by Cape Verde last night. They held the European champions Spain to a 0-0 draw. We're delighted to say joining us now is African football expert Ali Howarth. He's joining us to talk more about this. Ali, how are you, man?
Yeah, doing well, guys. Just at the train station in Philadelphia, getting ready to head up to the Senegal game. So I'm buzzing. I'm excited for more World Cup football.
I'll be there too, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Look at this. Meeting up.
It's going to be a good one.
Meeting up. Can I have a corn dog or a chili dog or something, you guys,
But we don't need to do all that, man.
I'm just saying.
Corn dogs?
Yeah.
We leave that at Coney Island. We good.
Oh, right. Okay. Alistair, it's been absolutely incredible what happened yesterday. I've got egg on my face. I thought Cape Verde would lose 8-0. They obviously did not. But what do you make of what happened? How do you even break down what we saw? How good were Cape Verde to really nullify Spain and come out there with a massive point?
Well, I mean, can I tell you something? I wasn't surprised by the performance. Like, I was a little surprised by the result. A lot of us coming into this game thought that Cape Verde would lose, but we thought it would be narrow. But this is what Cape Verde do. Look, this is a country that is an incredible identity in terms of who they are, how they play football. This team has been together for 5-6 years, and they've performed at the highest level every time they're asked to. They've qualified for, this is their 5th major tournament in all time. Their first was the 2013 AFCON. In that time, they've only lost 1 group stage match out of 13. So this is a team that every time they step up, every time they make the jump to a new competition, to a new era, they always perform. And so for me, yes, it was incredible. It was fantastic. And you saw the scenes there. I don't know if you guys have seen the scenes back in Praia and Santiago Island. Amazing and incredible. But it's not a huge surprise. It's not a big surprise, the performance, because this is what Cape Verde do.
I agree, Ali. And if people just took the time to watch African World Cup qualifiers, they would see that defensively how they performed in Africa. Of course, you always wonder if it's going to translate against someone like Spain, but the identity is there, the belief is there, and the continuity is absolutely there. Now, the question remains, how far can Cape Verde go? Getting a point against Spain, can we potentially see this team in the knockouts?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I watched the Uruguay-Saudi Arabia game, and while they both, it was a fun game, it was a chaotic game, both of them, have a lot of weaknesses, have a lot of flaws. And I think Cape Verde coming into this tournament, look, the expectations for them was to try and get out of this group. You know, they came with those expectations. Bobisa, the head coach, kind of spoke about that. Like, we're not here to just have a good time. Yes, we'll have a good time, but we expect to get out of this group. And I think they'll be targeting that. Look, they've set the bar very high, and these are going to be very different games. But again, what I would say about Cape Verde is they are not a team that only wants to defend. And we saw that in moments in that first half. They want to play good football. They want to pass it around. They want to control possession. A lot of the players in this team grew up in Holland, and a lot of the players grew up watching Brazilian football. That's their real inspiration. And so I think that's where we might see a different side of Cape Verde, and one that we saw at the 2023 AFCON, for instance, where they outclassed Ghana, where they outclassed Egypt. So I think they're very quietly confident in what they can do at this tournament.
Ali, I'm enjoying this. I mean, do you know what? As somebody who's been monumentally humbled, I'm now basically soaking up all of this knowledge like a sponge to learn more about this, because I feel like I've completely missed the boat here, Master. I've completely missed the boat here, Ali. And I needed this.
Ali, he said 8-0. He said 8-0.
I said 8-0, man.
That was
he's not alone. I saw Gabby Bonglehorst said the same thing. Thiago Alcantara on Fox's coverage said 6-0.
Thiago, bro.
But I think for me, what I would say is, an invitation to you, invitation to Thiago, invitation to Gabby. Guys, like, learn about these countries, because I think a lot of people thought, okay, Haiti, Curacao, Cape Verde, they're in the same boat. These are entirely different countries, entirely different stages of their development. Look, Cape Verde have one of the best run federations, in Africa. They've only got 7 full-time employees in the whole federation.
That's crazy.
But they pull together and they do great work. And the World Cup is a great example, because in the qualifiers, they approached FIFA at the beginning of the World Cup qualification process and said, look, we think we can qualify for this World Cup. We think we're good enough too, but we're struggling a little financially. We're struggling with the logistics. Can you help us out? And so FIFA said, look, you can get access to our FIFA Forward Fund, and that can give you access to funds to travel across Africa. Because bear in mind, their last away qualifier was against Libya. That cost about $400,000 just for that one match. And bear in mind, they had an away game to Mauritius. Mauritius is in the middle of the Indian Ocean. That is the biggest away day in African football. So this is a federation that is very professional. They're very well run. They integrate players from the diaspora really well to the players who were born on the islands. This is a country and a team that have been really, really well run.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. With the goalkeeper, right, 40-year-old Vizina. I mean, he's undoubtedly the star of the show, right? He was absolutely incredible. We've spoken about how many millions of Instagram followers he's gone up by now. It's just ridiculous, right? How much of last night's game was a reflection of him having basically a worldie, him just saving everything, and how much of it is actually other teams being able to look at this as a bit of a blueprint on how to really affect De La Fuente's Spain?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's both. I think, look, Cape Verde, I think for me the big worry was their 2 center backs, Kiko Lopez and Dini Borge. They're missing Logan Costa, who is the star of this team. He had a brilliant season, a couple of years for Villarreal, is a superstar in the making, but he tore his ACL and is out. And he's kind of on the bench, but not fit to play. And Pico and Dini are amazing in the box. They're big, strong center backs. And so when you're asking, Spain, where you're playing Spain, you're saying, come try and break us down. We're happy to sit in our box. And then, of course, Vizinha, it's just an incredible story. Bear in mind, this guy only turned professional as a 25-year-old when he left Cape Verde to go to Angola to become professional before then making the move to Europe. And he only made it, so he's only been a professional. I say only, for 15 years. I mean, when Lamine Yamal was born, he was still playing for Batuk FC on São Vicente Island as a semi-professional in Cape Verde. It's an incredible story.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know if that's the train announcer saying that your train has hit the platform or telling you to get back behind the yellow line, or I don't know which one it is, or mind the gap. I'm not sure.
But we don't say mind the gap, Flex. We don't say mind the gap in America. We leave that to you guys across the ball.
Is it seamless, yeah?
It could be Hervé Renard, you know what I'm saying? Boarding the train, trying to find out what Tunisia's at right now.
He needs to cross over, right? I heard he's going from Dakar to Mexico right now. He's in transit. That's a good segue, though, Master. Take it away, because we need to speak and ask Ali about Renard. Sorry, Hervé Renard.
I'm a professional, Flex. That's what I do. These transitions be seamless with it. Ali, I need to ask you about Hervé, because obviously we saw him with Saudi Arabia in the last World Cup, beating Argentina. Then he's bounced around with the French women's national team for an international competition. Then went back to Saudi Arabia. Now he's going to take over Tunisia, which is going through, their 5th different coach since the last World Cup. How did this all come together, and what can we expect from Tunisia that we didn't see in that Sweden game potentially with Renard?
Bernard is a master of these kind of tournaments. Look, my first memories of him is 2013 AFCON when his Zambia side battled their way to win the AFCON, winning on penalties.
We had to take him down there. We had to take him down. I think we could hear quite a few background noises. I don't know. I thought it might have been. I think he's back. I think we got Ali back. We got Ali back. We got you back. We got you back.
I'm not sure if it was me because it was all in French.
No, I think it was. I think it might be our next guest actually. That's actually lining up.
I think it might be our next guest as well. Yeah.
I was like, he's speaking English and French at the same time. This guy's incredible, and he knows everything about African football. What the hell's going on? But carry on, Ali.
With Hervé Renard, this is what he does, and look, it'll be interesting to see what Tunisia does because this was very much a reaction to humiliation, and not just the sacking Sabri El-Mouchi because that was a humiliating performance, humiliating result. And look, bear in mind, Sabri El-Mouchi came into this tournament with one goal for the World Cup because this is a new young team in Tunisia. They're trying to rebuild the squad, and they said, look, we don't care about the World Cup. You're building towards the next AFCON. All you have to do at this World Cup is not get humiliated, and he failed at that. They got humiliated. And again, Tunisia, in response to that, originally they were going to rehire Monder Khyber, one of the 5 coaches that they had at the last.
Just to check if we hear me.
And instead, they've decided, actually, we need to save face. We need to get into big dog. We need to get into big guns. And so they brought in Hervé Renard. And as you saw, I said, with Saudi Arabia, he's shown that he can get very quickly a group of players to play above themselves. Do I think Tunisia are going to beat either of Japan or the Netherlands? No, absolutely not. But it's great to see Hervé Renard back. I hope he's wearing his white shirt because for a lot of Africans who've been watching African football for a long time, it is an iconic image.
100%. That's a given. He's definitely going to wear the white shirt. He's going to talk his trash. He'll motivate them with his tactics and his demeanor that he has. And we'll see what Tunisia's able to do. But that Tunisia side, they had a very fortunate draw going into World Cup qualifiers. So there was always a nation where I was trying to figure out if how they performed in World Cup qualifiers was a signal of maybe they could be a sneaky team, or were they just a very fortunate nation to get the draw they got to qualify into the World Cup. And after this first match, I think the answer is pretty clear. This was the one to get something out of it if they potentially could, because the next two are going to be much more difficult.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I think basically what Ali was saying, I think this might be a safe one for me to say, like because he said it first. They're probably not going to beat Japan or Netherlands, so I can basically say they're not going to win that. So that's what I'm going to do.
Nah.
I'm going to go with that.
With you on that. Yeah.
But will they lose 8-0 in any of those? Will they lose 8-0?
No.
No, I don't think so. I think we'll tighten things up, but I don't know. After watching them against Sweden, I'm nervous.
Oh man, listen, Ali, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. We know you're at the train station. You got a train to catch, so good luck with your onwards travel, my friend, and thank you for your wealth of knowledge, man.
Thanks so much, guys.
Absolutely. Ali Howarth there, African football expert, man. I learned a lot. And you know what? It's very humbling because my small nation of Jamaica, I understand what the struggle's like of being really small, can't get out, the FA's not great. But, I know some other smaller nations, but these guys, just Cape Verde, I just didn't see it coming.
Flex, I'll never understand people that come from small nations, diaspora small nations, small countries relative in terms of the World Cup as well.
Yeah.
Like, don't you root for the underdog? Don't you want to see David Slake alive?
I wanted to see it. I just thought it just wouldn't happen, bro. I just was convinced it just wouldn't. Yeah. It wasn't even anything against them. I just didn't know enough about them, but also just thought, nah, that's not happening. This is European champions, but my God, was I wrong.
That's the beauty of this tournament, man. In this expanded tournament, you're seeing nations that you've never seen before playing styles of play that maybe other nations aren't familiar with. And on a given day in 90 minutes, man, football's the ultimate equalizer. You could be a nation of 20, 30 million, 300 million people facing off against a nation of 500,000 people. And on that day, for 90 minutes, you guys are equal.
And I think there's a lot of, I heard Ange say it yesterday on comms. He was like, the beauty in the football is like in the intangibles, he said. And it's so true. It's the things you can't see. It's the things you can't necessarily measure or you're not really certain. The things you can't control, essentially. And there are a lot of like nations whereby maybe the homework from European teams and others, et al., like it isn't been done. Some of these teams, like you said, they're not at the forefront. And I know that everybody has analysts and people who that's their job to analyze the opposition. But sometimes like the lack of knowledge or lack of playing against teams like this is so few and far between. It's almost like it's catching people off guard already.
Yeah, but not only that. I mean, just think about these big nations are so privileged. everything is catered to them now, you know? And you come across a Cape Verde side, as Ali just mentioned, bro, they're having to pay $500,000 just to travel to Libya. Like, you know, it's just the inconvenience that it is to play this sport for a lot of these small nations and doing it literally for the love of the game. Where, you know, you have other nations, and again, I'm not trying to single out England here because the U.S. also has a lot of privileged amenities as well. But, you know, England having the cooling, cooling fans and all these different things, and again, everything is built around them for their convenience. And when you're brought into a match where you are placed in a very inconvenient and frustrating position, who do you think is going to handle that situation better? These small nations will, because that's what they're accustomed to. That's their realm. That is their battlefield. That is where they feel most comfortable at. Yeah. So when you're talking about the journeys that they have to go through, the Haitis, the Curaçaos, the Cape Verdes, all of these nations, Scotland even as well, in terms of what they've had to go through to get to this point. They are welcome winners, yeah. You know, New Zealand, there's so many other nations that have qualified because of this expanded tournament that have had to go through so much along the journey, and they're carrying that with them, they're taking that with them, and they're displaying it on this tournament, and it's just beautiful to watch. Yeah. And that's why it's hard. You have to watch every match. You just have to. Yeah, you do. You have to work out. That is true. As well, as hard as it is on this side, you do to really get a grasp of what's going on. Incredible scenes, man. This is the S word. There's so much going on here. Like we said, it's been a packed show already. We got a jam-packed show to come. We're going to be talking to Erik Bielderman, formerly of L'Equipe, to find out about the favourites. Master's got his Chuba Many shirt. Yeah, exactly. You're watching the S Word here, sponsored by Kelshi.
The daily deep dive into the world of football. The S Word from talkSPORT. talkSPORT presents The S Word. Listen again and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on the talkSPORT USA YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the S Word right here with me, Flex, and my good friend out there in New York. He is live, Mr. Master Test Fashion.
Beans and toast.
He's I haven't heard that one. They keep hitting me with them, hitting me off guard because I don't know what they are. Look at that. I'm in for the main man, Will Gavin, your usual tag team partner. Master, do you know what? Before we get to our next guest, before we carry on the show, I have to admit something. I was speaking to producer Sam earlier, right? And I said, like, what's Master's like? What's the background behind his name and stuff, like his stage name? He said, no, it's his real name. I said, what? I said, excuse me?
You thought this was a stage name?
Bro, the name's so good and so powerful. I was like, he's done well to come up with that. This is a serious guy. He said, no, his name is Master Test Fashion. I said, what? That's crazy.
As much as I would love to get credit for it, all the credit goes to my pops.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
He knew I was gonna be born to G, so he knew what he was doing.
Damn,
you know? So that's
Master. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I didn't know that.
Hey man, I rock with Flex too. I'm not gonna lie with you. Flex is a dope name,
and that's my real name. I was christened that. Flex, just Flex. That's it. I promise you. Right.
No, all the comments all the time are always asking like my name, Master, this, and this.
Yeah.
The real story, real quick. Basically, I was born the same 3 months after Eritrea gained its independence in 1991. I was born in July. Gained our independence in May. We're called Natsunet babies. My dad wanted to give a very powerful name, and also he has a very hard name to say, Hapte, in here in America, and so he was always frustrated when people couldn't say his name right. So he's like, man, forget this. I'm gonna give my son a very powerful name, so he ain't gotta be no slave, and people can respect him. And he came up with Master.
My
mom wanted a different name. Yeah, my mom wanted a different name, and then she don't win too many fights, but thankfully, I'm glad my dad won that one.
I love that, man. I love that. Okay, right now it's time for the team that a lot of people are considering favourites for this year's World Cup. Of course, it's France. They play their opening game against Senegal tonight, and I'm delighted to say joining us now is former editor of L'Equipe and dear friend of the show, Mr. Erik Bielderman. Erik, thank you for joining us. How are you, my friend?
Much love, Erik.
Hi, good afternoon and good morning for you, I guess. Excited for tonight, for sure. It's the first game, but it's a meaningful game because we have maybe the toughest group with Norway also as a contender for the first seat. And if you look at the very first game with the African team, whatever it is, Morocco, Cape Verde, Ivory Coast, Egypt, they win against world-class team. So we know that Senegal game will be crucial to be first in the position to be the leading of the group.
Erik, anyone who's ever watched the World Cup, you know what happened in 2002 with these two nations, right? It was just incredible, a real historical kind of moment. Didier Deschamps lived through the scars of what happened. What is it that this French team needs to do to make sure that there is no repeat of that? And this is sort of, taking care of business and making sure that they're ready for this game, because this carries a lot of kind of historical weight.
First point was 2002 was what was happening around Zidane injury, what was happening about the dressing room, who have had 2000 win European, 1998 World Cup champion. So I think the group was too much confident, and also with a lack of professionalism and the behavior that you do have to be when you play a team like Senegal. You must respect your opponent. I do believe that the lesson have been learned, and that Didier Deschamps, as the manager, who is a very strong-minded person, he knows how to win, whatever it is with Marseille in Europe, whatever it is with France in the World Cup and the European Championship, whatever it is also as a manager, he takes the team to the finals where it is in Europe or in the world stage, the team always behaves. So we do believe that we won't repeat in terms of behavior. I don't mean about results, but in terms of the way we are going to go to the game, we will go, I think, with the positive and professional mood.
Eric, I'm curious to say that because I'm a little concerned with this France side for some of those reasons in which you mentioned. And
Yeah.
I think, watching that Northern Ireland match and seeing, whether there is a rift between Conte or not, who knows, all the speculation. We saw Mbappe coming out yesterday saying he needs to do better defensively, but you mentioned some of the potential lackadaisicalness of the 2002 team. And I'm looking at Kylian Mbappe right now, and I'm wondering if history repeats itself considering what we've seen from Kylian Mbappe so far.
Yeah, the Kylian Mbappe is the cherry on the cake, but sometimes he can spoil the cake. He is such a huge personality, a huge football player, but also a very versatile and controversial personality, because he put the shadow on everyone. He doesn't defend on the field like the way we want the forwards to work for the team, but he knows after 2 years of negative football, even if he scored huge amounts of goal, he didn't achieve to win Spain or to win in Europe. He has to make himself for a revenge. And the only way for him to do that is to work with the team, for the team, and to wait the team to work with him, for him. Otherwise, of course, it will be the 2002 nightmare back, or the 2010, which was even a worse nightmare with the Nice strike, with the disaster of the French team. We know that we can have in our blood some dirty moments, but I think that the personality around the team, which have a really huge team spirit, and Didier Deschamps as a manager, should avoid us to have to deal with the Mbappe case for the moment. I'm very precise when I say for the moment. A World Cup is 8 games, is about 45 days. There is a lot to tell, and we shall meet in the future. I'm sure we shall have much more to tell.
I think it's fascinating with Mbappe because, as you said there, Eric, everybody knows how good he is and what he possesses, but at times he can be divisive, at times he can be combative, at times he can be sort of larger than life, and you can't have that in such a humble squad. I mean, speaking of the rest of the squad, people like MacLean, he's just been absolutely incredible this season. Of course, Ousmane Dembele is in there as well. Does Deschamps possess the most fluid front three at this tournament with the players at his disposal?
Yeah, Deschamps have not the most fluid top three forward. He has the top 4 most vital players, because you have Doué, Dembele, Mbappe, and there is so much that I even forgot the first name.
Olise.
Olise, yeah, sorry.
He's not that important. Just the other guy. The other guy.
He scored 3 goals in the last game, and you forget his name, because he's just a team player, and he's an absolutely brilliant team player. So when we have so much flowers up front to play up front, we are a bit worried. Why so? Because France with Didier Deschamps plays 4-3-3 system. They win by not conceding goal. They win with very aggressive and quality midfield. And then up front, they can have Giroud, who can be a world champion without scoring a goal in the 2018 World Cup. So we don't feel so confident to have.
I think he may have just frozen. I think he's just frozen. He just got a little bit stuck there. We'll try and get Eric back as soon as we can. On Michael Olise, though, Master, it's incredible. I think we do actually have Eric back now, though, as well. Let's welcome Eric back into the show. Eric, we lost you there for a second. Yeah. Of course, over back to you.
Yeah, it's just just to sum up the last word, we have a problem, I think, in the future. We have 4 players to play up front, and Didier Deschamps wins with a 4-3-3 system. So it means that one of the 3 players, whatever they do play with 4 up front, have to play in a wide position compared to the position he's used to be. It seems that the one to lose, I would say, the battle of the ideal position is Dembele. Dembele will not play as a real number 9, a striker, because Mbappe is the boss. But in the meantime, it's something where sometimes he doesn't play his best football. With France, he doesn't play the football that we do see with Paris Saint-Germain. And for that, shall we play on the long-term basis with 4 players and one not achieving or not happy, but most accurate word is playing where he doesn't like to play? Or shall we have to make a very strong decision in the following days or weeks to come back to the 4-3-3 system for the knockout phase and maybe to drop one of them? And when you know the name, when you know the quality of the players, when you know one is a Ballon d'Or, one is the boss of the world of football, I don't want to be Didier Deschamps to tell one of these guys, Olise, you're a jewel. Shall I say to you, I forget your name? Or shall I say to the other 3 players like Désiré Doué? Désiré Doué also is a kind of Olise. You don't know too much about him, but he's a jewel. He's a jewel. To me, and to most of the French public, if you make a poll, which one of the 4 players you might have to drop, if so, the answer will be Mbappe. Wow. For the French crowd, the answer will be Mbappe.
I've seen this, yeah.
I think he's right. I was at a watch party yesterday, and a bunch of French fans obviously making out here to New York already, and you could tell they shared the same sentiment. They said, "Hey, look, if Mbappe falls in line and he starts scoring a bunch of goals, we're fine. But he's kind of the wild card right now for this team, which is crazy to say, considering what he's done already so far and what he did in 2022 World Cup final as well. Like that performance still is one of the best performances we've ever seen in a final, but." The confidence within him right now, it doesn't feel like it's there amongst the French fans.
Yeah. So then, if you just talk about pure football, you forget everything else. If you have to drop one player, it has to be Dembélé. It has to be the Ballon d'Or. Why so? Because Dembélé so far with France is not the same Dembélé than with Paris Saint-Germain, and then he is back from, I would say, middle quality, physical and technical and football situation in the last couple of months. So it's not the Dembélé that we do have the habits to see with Paris Saint-Germain before his injury.
But
because
Eric, he's so humble though. You know, he's someone that can substitute it off in the 60th, 70th minute against Bayern Munich in the second leg. Doesn't put up a fit, doesn't put up a fuss. He's always going to do what is needed for the team. And I think his selfishness, unfortunately, works against him in the situation when you are facing up against an Mbappe and other figures that feel like they need the ball and need to score and need to have the moment.
Yeah, it's sure that for Didier Deschamps, if you say to Dembélé, you will have to be on the bench and you will come and be maybe the man who will win the game after 50 or 60 or 65 minutes. He will not make headlines. He will not make big words. He will not do anything than to behave as a sportsman and as a team spirit player. If you do that with Mbappe, even for good reason, I'm sure you are in the mess. And the world of media will make everything like us for L'Équipe or for the French media. Of course, it will be a big story. It will be headline story. It will be Mbappe against Dembélé, Mbappe against Didier Deschamps. That's going to be the war.
It's incredible. Eric, thank you so much for joining us. Fantastic insight into France. We're all watching you with a lot of pressure. We need, and also the Europeans, apparently, according to Master, we need to deliver. He's not excited by the Europeans. So we're looking for a big performance. Go buy.
I got a Senegal. I got a French kit on right now. I put on the Chouamini because I'm fighting with Flex. But I'm not gonna lie to you, Eric. I'm going to the match.
Mine is a neutral one.
Yeah,
All Blacks.
I'm going to the match. All Blacks. I'm going to the match, Eric, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go buy a Senegal kit.
Lucky man.
I'm gonna buy a Senegal kit. So if you see me with a Senegal kit out there, just know.
There you go. Erik Bielderman, thank you very much for joining us. A really great catch up.
Okay, speak soon.
Erik Bielderman there, formerly the editor at L'Équipe. Fantastic.
I had to say with him.
Yeah,
I had to be honest.
You are shameless.
I'm playing both.
Shameless.
Hey, this is my favorite match of the group stage.
It is absolutely.
It's a huge celebration of France, Francophone, Africa. I can't wait. The vibes inside that stadium are gonna be unbelievable.
Yeah, you are a very, very lucky man. Of course, it's at the MetLife as well, incredible venue as well, where the final is going to be
stadium,
too.
But that's a story.
Oh, is that to do with like the Jets and just a separate?
No, it's a terrible. It's not a great stadium.
I thought it was. I know it was good. Not
the
as good as the
European,
SoFi, but yeah.
The European mind, I know you guys are deprived.
It's very grand, yeah, 100%.
Yes, yeah,
exactly.
MetLife is like very mid.
That's
very
good.
mid.
And do you know what? That I will. Maybe this is another conversation for later on in the show. But the stadia, 100% in America. I haven't doing so many preseason tours there. And I've been to Mercedes-Benz Arena. I've been to the NRG. Yeah. These are like crazy stadiums, man. I've been to the Allegiant, which was I was in a club. I was in a nightclub behind the goal in the Allegiant. I couldn't believe it. But these are different stories, right? Okay. Next up, we will be speaking to South American football expert Felipe Cardenas. You are watching the S Word right here, sponsored by Kaushi.
Around here, we only use the F word.
talkSPORT presents
The S word. S word.
featuring Bill Gavin and Master Tess Fassian.
And a squad of big name contributors.
The S word
from talkSPORT.
Welcome back to the S Word right here on talkSPORT and talkSPORT's and the S Word YouTube channel. It's been a fantastic show so far with myself and Mr. Master Tess Fashion. He's out there live in New York. He's going to the France versus Senegal game. He's got his France top on. He's been in very, very buoyant mood. He's been very excitable today, haven't you?
I'm always excited, Flex. I get a chance to talk to a legend and get to do some banter, get to enjoy the World Cup. America, you know, politics aside, showing up, showing out. The match has been great. Even Iran, New Zealand was packed.
Yeah,
Atmosphere was great for that one. You know, like, so, man, all smiles on this side, bro.
It's all smiles. It's small smiles. We've been getting along until now. Until now. Because it's only right that when I found out that I was co-hosting with you today, I had to bring this up. Because I heard you talking smoke. You've been doing it even in this show. But I heard you. And you went way too early with this hot take that the USA are going to go further in this competition than England. And I took exception to that. I don't like it.
Prove me wrong.
Right?
Prove me wrong.
So I'm going to let you state your case.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to let you detail and make sure you come correct with this, because this is your opportunity to tell me why the USA are going to go further than England in this tournament. Why is that?
First off, okay, I've seen how you guys respond to the heat, to the conditions. You guys aren't built for this weather in North America. You just aren't. You got your little cool fans, your palm detectors, Thomas Tuchel calling every single person on the planet Earth trying to figure out what he can do with this humidity. We were built in this weather. We were built in these conditions. We can play in 100-degree heat. We can play in freezing temperatures. We can play in the snow, indoors, outdoors. It don't matter. Ball up top. That is the American way, okay? So the conditions, you guys aren't built for this, first and foremost. Second, we're the host nation. You saw that crowd. Everyone thought that Americans weren't going to show up and show out. You saw that atmosphere at USA Paraguay at SoFi Stadium. We was lit. I was at that match. It didn't matter if you were a casual or you were an A-list celebrity. Everyone was turned up, and they gave us a reason to be turned up. Why? Because they put up 4 goals on Paraguay. All you Europeans and everyone all around the world was up at 3, 4 in the morning for this epic hate watch, hoping to see America fail on the grandest of stage, and they gave you a performance of a lifetime that you did not expect or anticipate. And I'm here to tell you right now, not only are we going to win the group, not only are we going to win the group of 32, but we're going to make it through the quarterfinals here, because we are on a roll. Everyone in this country is behind this team. We got some great talent all across the board. Yeah, y'all ain't built. We got the momentum right now. Y'all over there, y'all too busy. See, that's the difference, man. Americans, yeah, they could be casual, lackadaisical, you know what I'm saying? But once they see, we know how to put on a spectacle. And once we see something we like, we get fully on board. Delusional, in fact. Well, English fans, yeah, y'all like to be a bit more tempered. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be like, oh, it's fair, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Y'all be like, you know, it wasn't bad, to be honest. You know, y'all don't lose yourself. Y'all don't like to let yourself be fans. So then y'all go around complaining about Noni Madueke being on the team, or Harry Maguire not being on the team, or not having an Englishman on the team as coaching your side, or Phil. You guys are still bickering about the roster.
This is what happens when you have a plethora of options. You don't have options, bro. You just got 26. Hey. There's only 26 guys. There's only 26 guys in the whole of America who play the sport. Yeah, so you don't get the chance to be like, what about this guy? What about that guy? You get what you get. Yeah? You get what you get. And your manager. Let's talk about your manager, bro. Coming into this tournament not long ago, you wanted him out. Just like the Arsenal fans wanted Arteta out before, just like you drove Arsene Wenger out, you wanted Poch out. You were like, who's this clown? And now all of a sudden, he's the best in sliced bread. You know what this guy's all about. He's the nearly man. He did it with Spurs. Okay, he did well at Southampton, I'll give him that. But he's a nearly man, okay? So stop acting like you have an elite coach, because you don't. And actually, this is now the England department. Speaking of coaches, we have finished our Vibes FC. Sir Gareth Southgate with the waistcoat. We finished that now. We came close. We were nearly men. So I know what it's like to be a nearly man. But now we got Thomas T, Tommy Tooks, a real proper elite coach. And guess what? I'm glad this is in the States, because you know what you've done to the beautiful game of football? You've broken it down into quarters. You've made it like basketball, bro. And guess what? Those are small bite-sized moments for our elite technician of a manager to get into this team. That is what it's going to do, to tailor make things, to change things, to analyze things. So you've made this game, this beautiful game, even easier for us than that we created. So that's fine. Another reason why we're going to win it as well is because we got some genuine world-class players in there. And another reason why we're going to go further than you is because we got genuine world-class players in there. We got the best striker on the planet. Yeah? Not your guy. Yeah, not your guy. Yeah, he scored a couple goals.
The guy that missed that. The guy that missed the penalty in the last World Cup that you guys lost to France. Is that?
Hold on.
That's the guy we talking
about. Not your guy. Not Balogun. Okay, yeah, he's okay. Couldn't quite cut it over here, so he's gone now. That's fine. Hey, yeah,
he wanted to come to USA, baby. He wanted to come to the USA.
He had to go out
as
there.
Everybody does.
Okay, what did he do? Spend some time at Monaco as well, didn't he? You know, it's fine. But we got the best striker on the planet. That's what we possess. Reece James in this squad, one of the best right backs on the planet. Declan
When is
Rice.
he healthy?
He's healthy, bro. That's why he's out here. He's healthy. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. You know this. Declan Rice, your boy, star boy Saka. That's who we have. We got Elliot Anderson now. Kobe Mainoo's waiting to come through. What do you want? So when you're talking about, we're moaning about this and that players, because we have a wealth of options, bro. A wealth of options. And there's another thing I picked up on what you said. You said, you was all tuning in for the hate watch. No, we wasn't, bro. We woke up in the morning and thought, what was the score? We didn't even know. I didn't even know he was playing. I didn't even know he was playing.
No, don't even. Don't even start that.
I went on my phone and I was let me check the scores.
You was definitely locked in. You was locked in.
I wasn't. I was sleeping.
You wanted to see how the U.S. was
because all the good games,
everything that came out of this.
Bro, all the good games ain't on at those times. Yeah, the better games. Yeah, that's what's happening.
We was on in prime time in America because we don't need to cater our scheduling around Europeans and around the rest of the world. This is an American tournament. We want these games to be prime time in America. And if you want to watch the best performance of this group stage, you're going to have to get up at 3 or 4 in the morning to watch that. And look, you guys have options. I'm not going to lie with you. There's a lot of players on your team that I do like. And I do think that you guys will do well in the group stage. But you guys have always had options. Always have had options. And for someone that has always made fun of Arsenal being bottlers, England is the ultimate bottling nation in this World Cup. The fact that you guys have won the 1966 World Cup, which I'll give you credit for.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us credit.
You probably don't remember it, but it's all good because you weren't alive. The black and white footage that came from it. But even the goal you scored in the final, it was a controversial goal. They gave it to you guys. They gifted it to you. In the VAR world, that goal wouldn't even count right now. We're technologically advancing the game right now, and England's trying to catch up.
I wouldn't technologically advance in the game by breaking a perfectly good game that's in 2 halves and putting it into quarters. What is this?
Nothing wrong with the hybridation break. I'm all for it. I
3 minutes to drink some water. What is this? This is a chance.
Y'all did it at Wembley. Y'all do it every weekend in the Premier League, in the Championship.
This is a chance for you guys to try to sell us something. We're not having it. We don't want to buy. We don't want to pick up what you're putting down. Give us our game back. We want 2 halves. It's a 90-minute game plus stoppage time. None of this.
Y'all have hydration breaks in the Premier League. What are you talking about? It'd be 60 degrees in a Premier League match.
No, in air-conditioned stadiums we don't.
Bro, it's not even hot enough in the UK to have a hydration break.
Ridiculous.
Y'all, it'd be 60 degrees with a nice cool breeze, and y'all over there sunburnt, needing a break because you guys are sweating your balls off.
Honestly.
What are you talking about, man?
And actually, all of this stuff. Hold on, Master. Actually, on a real note, let's discuss your manager. Let's discuss him. What has changed? Because I remember not too long ago, even you, no, I'm not having him. Not having him. Get this clown out of our nation. Get him out. What's going on?
Here's what okay.
The tone's changed. The tone has changed.
Let me clarify on the record, okay? I wanted Pochettino initially. I wanted Berhalter ball out of here, and I wanted Pochettino, okay? But you have to understand, in the 3 plus years that we've had Pochettino, we haven't seen what we saw against Paraguay. Okay? There was bits and pieces of which we saw. We have not seen a performance of that first half under Pochettino. And I have actually admired how Thomas Tuchel has actually embraced the English identity. Wanted you guys to be more physical, being more tough, making the extra phone calls, being professional in those kind of manners. Where Pochettino's kind of come here, got in the bag, making $6-7 million a year or something like that for this job. And, hey, fair play to him for getting the bag. But I just wanted him to just embrace the American identity just a bit more, just a touch, just a touch. That's all I wanted. That's all I asked for. Because it just felt like he was so disconnected from the fan base, from our approach to things, and he was always talking from his own vantage point, from his own perspective. But hey, look, man. If it's gonna be 4-1 every match like this, bro, you can say the hell with America. You can do whatever you want to. You can bring all your Argentine homies out here. I really do not care, bro. I don't even own any Argentina jerseys, bro. I go buy a Pochettino Argentina kit somewhere from one of these classic football kits.
So look at that, selling yourself so easily, please. Look at this. You guys were getting onto this guy about how he's ringing the players to tell them they're not in the squad.
That's America
and he told you guys,
we want results.
I don't give a damn what you guys are telling me. This is a lose-lose. I'll call the players and tell them they're not in the squad how I want to do it.
Thomas Tuchel's doing the same thing, though.
Yeah, he is.
Because everyone's you wanted that whole good old. Because that's the thing. Very similar in terms of the U.S. and England. Hey, very similar. Where Berhalter was very much the good vibes, good feel. I want to talk to everyone, get their feelings, get their emotions, make sure they're good. We all kumbaya. And Southgate kind of had the same feels, where we both took similar approaches as nations and brought 2 guys outside of our country to come here and basically get us right for this World Cup. And I've seen all the English response. I know you've been cool with it on your end, but I'm saying from my vantage point and what I've seen from the English people, they are still complaining about this roster, and that's always my issue with England and English fans. Like, you guys always are hedging your emotions. You never let yourself just run wild and just allow yourselves to get behind the team. There are people that do that. Don't get me wrong,
bro, we
do
that. We do that
across country.
It's
But
coming home every year.
yourself.
We do it, bro. We're on top of tables. We've got beers flying everywhere. We do.
Some of y'all do, but I'm saying right now, and the way people are feeling right now, because Phil Foden didn't make the roster, because Cole Palmer didn't make the roster.
No, I wouldn't say that.
This German guy, they called him a double agent already as it is.
That's the one.
The double agent that they called him, you know what I'm saying?
Coach. Yes, it's a German coach. It's a German. But player-wise, it hasn't been too bad. I'm not going to lie. It actually hasn't. Like, people like Cole Palmer and like Phil Foden. You
going to get behind Noni Madueke? You going to get behind Noni Madueke?
Yeah, I don't mind him. He's all right. And do you know what? Speaking of him, I like this because we've managed to sneak a little bit of Noni Madueke into this show. I've managed to sneak a little bit of England into America as well. Let's do a little bit more of that. And speaking of Noni Madueke, he's been catching up with talkSPORT's Faye Carruthers about his teammate Bukayo Saka.
You and I have spoken about your battle in inverted commas with Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
He's just spoken very highly about you in the press conference.
Yeah. What did he say?
He said you were his brother.
Yeah.
So give some love back to B.
No, he knows. We know. Everyone talks about rivalry and stuff, but if you see us, you wouldn't think that. Of course, we're competitors at heart for sure, and we play in the same position for club and country. So there's that natural competition, but it's not rivalry for sure. We know we're pulling in the same direction. We know we both have parts to play for club and for country. So whenever he's playing, I want him to do the best he can because he's an amazing player and it's going to help us win, and I'm sure he thinks the same. So that's really it.
Arsenal and England right winger, Noni Madueke there's catching up with Faye Carruthers, talkSPORT's Faye Carruthers. She's out there with the England boys in camp, getting the very latest out of the camp. Master, these are your boys, man. These are Arsenal's finest. These are the man. Exactly. These are Premier League winners. From your perspective, how important are they to England if we've got a chance of not only going further than just the USA, but actually winning this thing?
I think they're crucial, especially on the right wing. What Saka can do, even with the injured Achilles that he had all season long, we saw when he finally came back on the pitch, just how effective he was, even as he was still dealing and battling with the injury. So the concern, though, is how many minutes can you play him? How long are you able to keep him on the pitch? Is there certain games maybe during the group stage that you want to rest him and start Noni Madueke? And if that's the case, how do you build Noni's confidence up in his first World Cup when, all the criticisms that we've seen that come across him? Like, England needs to back him. They need to get behind him. They need to support him. They need to encourage him. They need to let him know, hey, you're wearing this kit, whether we agree with it or not, you're wearing this kit, and we're going to need you in this tournament, particularly with Saka continue to deal with the injury. So that's my biggest thing. It's that if you get behind him, yes, there's going to be unfortunate misses that he had like he did in that final friendly, but he's going to create chances, and he's going to be fearless, especially in low blocks, and that's a big reason why he was brought in. He's one of the best in low blocks in terms of creating chances, creating shots. That's why Arsenal brought him on, and I think that's why Tuchel brought him on for this national team as well. He will create chaos, and you need those chaos agents in this tournament to help give you a different flavor when teams have become difficult to break down. Even more so, that Croatia team, bro, that's going to be your first big test to see how you can break down Croatia and finding those answers, because they're going to be as old as they are, and people, maybe underestimating them once again. They're once again going to be a tough team to break down. Yeah, they will. I agree with everything you said on Noni. I remember when he was about to sign for Arsenal. There was petitions for him not to sign for Arsenal. He ends up being a Premier League winner. Bro. There's some things in his game. There's some, you look at the valuation and things like that. But I agree. And Thomas Tuchel likes him as well, and he's been really good through qualification too. So I think you're right. We just need to get behind him. The team is the team now, and the moaning has to stop. Right, next up, we have a very special guest, John and Jodie MacLean. They will be joining us, and they might just be the new leaders of the Tartan Army. You're watching the S Word here, sponsored by No Scotland, no party, baby.
From kickoff to the full-time whistle, talkSPORT presents the S Word. cuss words here. Just 2 hours of full-on football dialogue.
Every day.
talkSPORT presents
The S Word.
Welcome back. Right here to the S Word, powered by talkSPORT with me, Flex, and Master Test Fashion. It's been a great show. Right now, yesterday, we started a brand new segment here on the S Word, the Fan Appreciation Society. And that's where we shared clips with you guys, celebrating fans up and down the host nations, enjoying themselves, integrating themselves with local culture. And well, today we've gone one better. I can't believe what we've actually lined up today. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, there's a story doing the rounds at the moment of a lovely couple who gave their ticket for Scotland's opener. They gave up their ticket for free to a 16-year-old Scottish fan who was scammed out of $600, $600, which meant that he couldn't go to the game despite having already flown over. It's a beautiful story, and it's one that continues to make people fall in love with the beautiful game once again. And obviously, of course, fall in love with the Tartan Army at this World Cup, like so many have already. Well, I'm delighted to say that we have hunted down John and Jodie MacLean. We've hunted them down and we've invited them onto today's show so that we can hear more about this unbelievable story of just gratitude and good faith. Guys, let's welcome them onto the show. Jodie and there we can see them right there. Jodie and John, you heroes. Welcome to the S Word. First of all, how are you guys? How are you feeling? How are you?
Great.
We're great.
Really good. Having fun.
Good. This is. When I first heard about this story, you kind of think about what kind of people were there that have done this? Who's made this happen? So we're really happy to have hunted you down. Really happy that you've managed to come on and speak with us. John, take us back to how all of this started. How did you become aware of the young lad who, had been scammed out of $600, couldn't get to the game, reaching out to him? Talk us through what that was like.
Yeah. So. We ended up with 3 tickets for the game, and I was trying to sell the spare ticket, which I'd bought for the ridiculous prices they're charging for the game. And we'd flown into Boston because we live in Portland, Oregon, on the other side of the country. And we were driving from Boston to Foxborough, and we just wanted to stop and get something to drink. And when we pulled off the freeway, all we could find was a bar. So naturally, we went in. And there was one young guy in a Scotland top and a kilt, so we got talking to him, and he was talking about how they came over without tickets, and his little brother's friend was still looking for a ticket, and I said, well, I've got a spare ticket, and I was going to try and sell it, at the game, see if somebody wanted a ticket. So he called his little brother's friend, and then that's when he came back and said he'd been scammed out of the $600, so he couldn't afford to pay anything for the ticket. And we said, okay. And then Jodie and I went back to our table, and it only took us about 30 seconds to say, we don't want some kid going back to Scotland and feeling like they had a terrible experience in the US, coming, getting scammed out their money and missing the game. So we went back and said, he can have the ticket. We want folks to have a good time at this World Cup, and we want folks from Scotland. I've been here 27 years, and for all its current problems, it's a great country, and we wanted folks to go back and think that they'd had a great time here.
It's a great country because of people like you two, and it's just amazing to see that goodwill and gesture done on yours end. And as you said, it only took 30 seconds for you guys to do that. I know a lot of Scottish friends, a lot of them trying to get to this match. Why was it so quick of an action for you guys to take to make sure that this kid had a great opportunity watching this match?
Because we love Scotland, and I lived there for 3 years. That's how I met him. We'll be married 30 years in April, and he's very generous. Scottish people are the most generous people on the face of the earth.
Look at those words of wisdom. That is beautiful. You've been together 30 years as well, and you've seen the generosity, from your husband over those times, and it's brilliant that you've wanted to share that with this young lad as well. And you can see how the Tartan Army have endeared themselves to so many people across the world now, but also people in the States that are coming across the Tartan Army, right, Jodie?
Yes. They're just wonderful people. and they're the best fans in the world. Everybody loves having the Scottish people in their country because they don't cause problems. They always are friendly, and
they can wake you up with bagpipes at 6:30 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
You got a free alarm clock out of them as well.
Yeah, well, folks here are realising that it really is true. No Scotland, no party.
Yeah, exactly that.
I've enjoyed very much. I'm in New York. I've been bouncing around. I'm enjoying the no Scotland, no party. Jody, real quick though, where are you from originally? And were you aware of this no Scotland, no party, Tartan Army? How much has John explained to you in terms of what to expect from the
I experienced it myself when I lived in Scotland. He's a Partick Thistle fan, so we would go to some of the games, and I'm from Oregon. I went to high school and college in Oregon. I was born in Michigan, but lived most of my life in Oregon.
So how would you compare that to, the University of Michigan, obviously Oregon? They have some great college football atmospheres and environments there. How would you compare that to Scotland in terms of what they do on this World Cup stage?
Well, they are the loudest. We have some great fans in Oregon too, but Scotland definitely beats everybody as far as just their exuberance, excitement, love for the game, and just wanting to have fun and be the biggest, loudest bands in the world.
What about for yourself, John? When you actually gave the ticket to the young lad and he understood that I'm actually going to this game, I've kind of been saved. What was that like? Was he crying? Did he give you a big hug?
He was on the floor. He was there.
To be honest, we only spoke with his friend Greg that we met in the bar.
Right.
We didn't talk to the young lad because he was in Boston. So he's reached out and expressed his gratitude.
Amazing.
And then Greg put it on his Instagram, which we didn't expect, and then he started the GoFundMe, and it's just like we're completely blown away.
Wow.
By folks' reactions. That never ever crossed our mind. All we wanted to do was to say, hey, here's a kid that's come all this way, got scammed, how can we make it better?
Yeah, exactly. And I think we need to use this as an opportunity to highlight just some of the risks with getting some of these tickets and these resale sites and, from maybe touts outside stadiums. It happens a lot here in the UK. I'm sure, we've seen the NBA finals being played at the moment. We've seen the ticket prices there. And I'm sure there's a similar situation with a lot of the big sports in America. What's the message that you'd have to some of the Tartan Army that are trying to get over here, John, to try and get tickets to see their beloved Scotland in a historic World Cup after the first win against Haiti, that are so desperate for tickets to basically try and avoid this situation happening to them?
Yeah, much as I hate to say it, because I think they're ripping people off, the only safe way to get a ticket is off the FIFA site, or actually if you're standing next to somebody and you watch them transfer the ticket to you.
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean. Yeah, because it is difficult, isn't it? Because you're seeing a decent price or something that may be in your price range and you're thinking, it's that old saying, if something sounds too good to be true, my mum always used to say, it usually is, right?
Yeah.
Situation, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Moving on to the game.
Real quick.
Yeah, go, Master, go.
Flex over here taking over the whole show.
I thought I couldn't hear you. I was like, where are you?
I'm there. Real quick, I wanted to ask, though, as you guys said, in terms of the GoFundMe and just kind of blown away from the response, there's always that idea of karma. You put it out in the world and you get it back. What does this moment kind of symbolize for you guys? Because I saw, Jody, you were getting a bit emotional as you heard that story. And I was getting emotional, too, as you guys were sharing it again. Because, again, I'm an American as well. I love being from this country. And everything that's going wrong, whatever the case is, I keep trying to remind people there are so many good people here in this country, all across from the sea to shining sea. And obviously, the example and gesture you guys did is a microcosm of the 330 million people that sacrifice and do these things around communities all over this country. And so when you were able to receive it back and seeing it going viral like this, I know you guys weren't expecting it, but ultimately, what do you feel like has been learned from this whole experience in terms of the gesture you guys provided?
Well, good karma breeds good karma. If if you're kind to people, people will be kind to you.
Well, and definitely they started a GoFundMe page, which is amazing, and we're gonna take the money back for the ticket, but anything over that we're going to give to who?
The kid Craig Ferguson that walked from California to Boston for Scottish mental health.
Wow.
So the GoFundMe's already got way more than we paid for our ticket, so all the extra we're giving to Scottish mental health.
That's incredible.
Unbelievable.
That is just to see what can
continue
come
to
from
give
this.
back.
Exactly.
Continuing
right?
to give back. It's amazing to see in the spirit that you guys are providing, and obviously Scotland provided you guys an amazing opportunity as well, beating Haiti 1-0 in the first match of the World Cup. And what are the vibes like? What was that atmosphere like? What was the environment like? And how are the vibes right now amongst the Scottish fans?
Oh, it was nuts. I mean, the game was great. I mean, we've been here for 28 years. The 98 qualifiers were the last time that Jodie and I were at a Scotland game, and those were nuts. This was just bananas. It was completely great. And we're up in Marblehead because we're kind of making a vacation of the trip, and Marblehead's full of Scots fans, and you get the bars, and they're just taken over by people that are happy and making friends with the locals, and the folks here are happy to see us, and then yesterday Norwegians are starting to come into town for their game, so it's a great vibe.
It's all starting to hot up, isn't it? I mean, John, have you seen the other story about the lads who have sort of been given somewhere to stay as well? There's some guys that are waking up people with bagpipes and stuff like that, which is incredible. It just goes to show just how big the Tartan Army actually is. And actually, also I wanted to ask you, what have you made of the extension of this World Cup? There's been a lot of sneering at it, from a lot of people beforehand, saying the World Cup's too big, there's too many games, etc., etc. Does this just highlight why it's so important to have a World Cup that's this big?
Yeah, I mean, we've been watching in the barn, watching some of the games, and getting Cape Verde and Curacao and teams playing on this stage. It's huge for Scotland. First time, we've been here in 28 years. But for those countries that this is their first ever time, they wouldn't have had that chance with this. The only thing I'm going to say is it's a real shame it's in the US with this administration that's not letting folks come to the games.
Yeah.
The story about the Cape Verde goalkeeper, his mother couldn't come because she couldn't pay the price of the visa. There's just a ridiculous administration that they're spoiling it. The fans that are coming to the games, the people in this country that understand the game, wonderful. The administration is just they're what's causing the block and causing more folks not able to enjoy what's going on.
You're absolutely right, John. But the thing is, as you mentioned, Jodie, the American people are doing their best with the circumstances that we have. And how happy are you, or how proud are you to be an American and seeing the Algerians getting along with people in Lawrence, Kansas, and the Japanese fans in Dallas, and all of these amazing stories that you're seeing all across this country of fans coming in that, unfortunately those that didn't make it in, but those that have, being able to experience the true essence of the American people.
Yeah, a lot of the comments online are about how the World Cup is bringing the world together and all the different nationalities getting along, and this is what everybody should be doing instead of all the fighting and things like that.
Absolutely, I have to really agree with you there. We have to say, where can we get this GoFundMe? Where can we look at it? How can we help here? Because we're right here on the S Word. We want to do our bit as well. This is a show that goes out to so many on social media and online. We want to do our bit. How do we find it?
Yeah, I think if you just if you search on GoFundMe for my name, John MacLean, it comes up.
There's only one John MacLean. There's only one.
There's only one John MacLean.
One John MacLean. There's only one John MacLean. Before you guys leave us, please give us a quick prediction, John, and then Jodie. How far are Scotland going to go? Are they going to go further than England?
All the way. Scott's going all the way.
Yeah, well,
Jodie's all in there.
I did my bracket prediction, and I had Scotland beating Argentina in the final.
Wow.
Because Messi's too old.
That's exactly what we like.
I love it.
We love that. Nice, measured.
We got to have you guys back on. The vibes, the atmosphere. You guys are truly embodiment of what has made this World Cup, in spite of all the issues, the resilience and the beauty of the people that live here, the people that are part of this. You guys embody that, and I'm so happy that you guys are able to come on the show. I've been an American trying to defend Americans, and despite all the stuff that's going on, obviously calling out all the wrong things going on as well. But I'm so happy for people like yourselves, because it truly displays the American essence of the people who we are, beyond all the politics, beyond all the nonsense. We are good people.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You two are massive heroes. Enjoy the rest of the World Cup and enjoy, hopefully, Scotland going as far as they can. John and Jodie McLeod, absolute legends, man. Absolute legends.
Playing.
I mean, that was incredible to hear from them firsthand about, what that journey was like, and you just knew there was going to be two amazing people at the end of such a good deed, right?
Man. As they were explaining the whole story, I'm glad they didn't cut to me, because my eyes were getting watery, man. It's every time I see those stories, man. Yeah, man. But again, man, like, obviously there's conflict that exists, and you're kind of convoluted in terms of your thoughts of this country right now and stuff. But it always comes down to the people, man. And
it always does.
People here are just the people here, man. I've met amazing people all across this country in every single state, and John and Jodie MacLean are two people that are a microcosm of, more often than not, what I experience in this country.
100%, and I echo that as well. Every time I've been to the States, you bump into anybody from any walk, they're so friendly. Where are you from? You from London? That's it. You know how it is, and it's like, it's just so incredible. And actually, and even bigger than that as well, is like, look what football does, bro. Like, I remember the lead up to the Qatar World Cup. When you get there, you're partying with the Americans, you're partying with the Saudis. They were taking over the Moroccans. I was Moroccan. I was Ghanaian. I was Mexican. I was with all of them. I was with all of them, and that's what the true essence of the World Cup is about, despite sort of geopolitical stuff that may be going on. So it's been absolutely fantastic. Right, that was Fan Appreciation Society. Coming up in the final section of the show, we'll be speaking to Felipe Cardenas as well. He's going to talk us through the Spanish perspective of the shocking 0-0 draw yesterday against Cape Verde. That's for sure. You are listening to the S Word right here, sponsored by Kelshi.
Big name reaction from both sides of the pond. The S Word from talkSPORT. people who love football in North America. And I mean the proper kind, where you only use your feet. The S Word from talkSPORT.
Welcome back to the S Word right here on talkSPORT, powered by and sponsored by Kalshi. It's been an incredible show. Good vibes, good energy, good tempo. With my main man alongside me, he's live from New York, Mr. Master Test Fast Station. How you doing, bro? You good? You keeping up? You keeping up with the energy? Or I'm keeping up. I'm keeping up your energy.
I was about to say you was a little down and out with the Chalobah news. It seems like that's been official already, but it seems like Chalobah's coming in. Yeah, I mean, do you want a quick comment real quick before we bring Felipe on? Is that you cool with that or no? Do we need a statement from you? Or are we good?
Well, you know what it is. What it is. In the words of what you say, it's time to stop moaning and back the players. Trevor Chalobah's on his way to the States. Probably won't play, and if he does, I'll back him all the way. That's it. I've learned from being on here. There's no point moaning. We need to get behind the boys. And actually, what I've learned by watching all these games is I just want England to play. I do have World Cup fever, fully locked in. All of the stuff from before of, this is taking too long, and what about this, and there's visas, and there's this, and there's that, and the ticket. I hear all of it, but now I am fully locked in for football. Yeah? For football. All right? And that is what's going to happen. So I just can't wait for us to play against Croatia, because it will be a tough game. Yeah, I don't care how old them guys are. Modric and Kovacic. I saw Kovacic come on from Man City the other day. I forgot he was even playing. I forgot he was even there. I was like, Kovacic is still in Man City.
He was a Luis Paqueta replacement. They've been riding the pine since then.
Exactly, man. So I was like, damn, I forgot he was even there. So, but listen, they can pass your head off. They can retain the ball really well, and they got some old heads in there. So I'm just looking forward to us and put all the noise aside.
Don't pull a Spain though. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't pull a Spain.
Nah, we'll be fine. We ain't not winning our first game. We'll win our first game. That's for sure. Might not be comfortably. Might not be a great optics, etc. But I believe we'll win. I believe we'll win. Right, we've covered a lot of Cape Verde side of things from last night's shocking result, but we haven't really taken a deep dive into the Spanish perspective. So I'm delighted to say that Felipe Cardenas, who was lucky enough to be at the game yesterday. Yeah. Crazy. He's joining the show.
Hey, listen, he's one of our own. He is one of our own. He is at the Athletic, but also one of the correspondents here for the S Word. He is killing it. He's been in Chattanooga with the Spain national team. Now getting him in Atlanta, get his response. I'm excited to see his perspective.
Exactly. We're welcoming him into the show right now because we got to get his takes on what happened. We have to understand where it went wrong for Spain and how they ended up in this position. Is he here? I do believe we have him. Maybe we will. We will. We do have him.
Hey,
I was like, I'm going to see him pop up anytime soon. He'll be going to be popping up. I'm not sure. Maybe the game was so bad he's still trying to work out what happened. Felipe, welcome to the show. I know you're a friend of the show as well. You're always on. How do you break this down from the Spanish side of things? We've spoken about Cape Verde. Is this just... It's one of those things. It happens. Saudi Arabia did it to Argentina. It's no big deal. Back to normal. Or is there something a little bit more to this?
I mean, it really depends on where you want to start. Like, historically, remember Spain doesn't do like incredibly well at the start of tournaments. I mean, especially in World Cup history, if you go back over the last 20 years, like, yes, they won the World Cup in 2010. Remember, they started losing that tournament. And just historically, it's a team that sometimes underwhelms, like really until that 2010 to 2012 era, 2016. Before that, Spain was the team that arrived at World Cups and European Championships and underachieved. And so that is still, I think, the lingering part of their history. And that was some of the response from the Spanish national team press corps yesterday, thinking like, why are we surprised? Yes, this is a very good team, but we are Spain, and sometimes we set ourselves up for disappointment. But I think the one thing that I do want to say, and for all the viewers to know, is that Spain was not overconfident. Like, I was at their training session this week when they came to Atlanta. Remember, they're based in Chattanooga. They travel into Atlanta about 2 days before they play. They were training here. We spoke to players, and, Mikel Merino was asked. He said, one of the reporters from Spain said, there's not much to know. There isn't much to know about Cape Verde, is there? And his response was pretty stern, saying, you may not know much about them, but we know plenty about them. We've spent hours watching them on video. They knew what to expect. They knew it was going to be a completely low block type of team that they were going to have to really work through to break down. And so I think in that sense, Was it a surprising result? 100%. I was expecting a comfortable win for Spain, but when I was walking into the stadium and I saw the energy from the Cape Verde fans, I was like, okay, like they maybe they believe in something that we don't. So I think the takeaway right now is that Spain, yes, disappointed. I think Lamine Jamal, had he been fit and ready to go from the first minute, it is a completely different game in my opinion. But right now we're talking about a historic draw between these two teams.
Yeah, Felipe, the Cape Verdean chant, the ooh, 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 I've seen it all across social media. It's stuck in my head. It's so catchy. I hope it catches on here in the United States because they were definitely bringing the energy. But on the Spanish side, as you mentioned, we have seen, whatever the controversy, the hydration breaks and whatever people have thought about it, we have clearly seen some coaches take advantage of that. And we've seen momentum shifts happening with some of these hydration breaks over the last couple of days, starting with Brazil and Morocco. Even without Lamine Yamal, even without Nico Williams, I thought I was a bit disappointed that Luis de la Fuente wasn't able to maximize and make the most of those hydration breaks and have those momentum shifting moments. Is there a bit of concern with Luis de la Fuente, who was coming out saying, how this is the best squad in the tournament, was talking a big game, even though if the overconfidence didn't exist with the players, it feels like the microscope right now is on him.
It is. I mean, I was in the post-match press conference with Luis de la Fuente, and no reporters that weren't part of the Spanish press corps got a question, so that was interesting. But they were, I think the one thing I'm taking away also is that the Spanish press is somewhat. I don't know. I think they're respectable. Like they throw their darts, but they're not really that aggressive. But yes, I think all the questioning yesterday was geared towards, was your setup the right approach? Were you prepared for that low block? Why didn't you bring on Iñaki Williams earlier? Could Lamine Jamal have gone before? When he came on, he played about 30 minutes. And his response was like, he understood. He's like, yes, we know those players are very good in 1v1 situations, because obviously anyone that watches football, when you play against a low block, the only way to break that is to have 1v1 dribblers. And they didn't have any of those types of players to start the match. And that was something that he had to respond to. And I think his status was that, like, the team that we put out there is one of the best teams in the world. And he kept pointing to that Spain are the European champions. He even said, don't let anyone forget that. We have not lost in 32 matches. I agree. That is not something to just throw to the side. But they looked like a very tentative team in those first 70 minutes, in my opinion. I think they were playing on thinking that their margin for error was so thin against Cape Verde, because there was a lot of concern, I think, from the Spanish back line, that midfield, that they could get caught in a transition moment. So you could see that there was a lot of stress with every touch. They really fell into a script of how they were trying to move that back line, that at times Cape Verde had 6 people back there, 6 defenders as part of that low block, and they just never broke down. They were bending a little bit at the end, but they never broke. And so I think Luis de la Fuente, you'll see in this next game against Saudi Arabia, I guarantee he's going to have more attackers out there. He has to have the dribblers. And again, Lamine Jamal, I think when you saw him, the difference that he made in just the few touches that he had, immediately Spain was a completely different team. And Cape Verde had to go out there with 3 players at times just to patrol him, and he was still finding ways to get by 1 or 2 of them and then releasing a teammate. So I think Spain is going to be fine. I think they were just like really humbled yesterday, and the low block really did frustrate them.
Yeah, we could see that. I mean, I wanted to ask from your perspective, you were up there in the press box, right? At what point did it occur to you that, hold on a minute, this keeper's not just having a good 10 minutes. This isn't just a decent spell. This is maybe something bigger here. Because, listen, I don't know if you do this. Before the game, I said Cape Verde is going to lose 8-0. Okay, I said it, right? It's done. All right.
You're admitting it.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I've had to do 2 apology videos since. Like, I've really held it for doing that, right? And I've learnt my lesson. Obviously, you are way more knowledgeable and would not predict something so stupid. But even for yourself, you spent the time around the camp. At what point in the stadium, like what moment was it? Was it when, I think, Orazabal hit the crossbar when he should have scored? Like, when did the penny drop, when you went, actually, something's happening here?
Yeah, I mean, that was Ferran Torres who hit the bar.
Sorry, Ferran Torres, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ferran Torres is another player that we spoke to this week, and he was another player that was pumping the brakes, really letting the press know, like, we are not going into that game thinking that we have this game won. And I thought he was one of the players that really struggled to break through, to get off of his mark, and then he had that chance, that crash off the bar. the 40-year-old goalkeeper, Valsinha. I mean, I think when I realized that this guy was going to be the story of not just of this game, but throughout the tournament, I was at one point when Marco Cucurella had a header that I think he tried to head down back across the 6-yard box, and he just mishit it, and it went right to Valsinha. And what he did, instead of grabbing it and falling onto the ground, he tapped it to himself and let it sit in front of him for a second. And I was like, this guy is insane in the best possible way. He has become a character and a personality, and he's so soft-spoken, so professional, when he was speaking to the press. But that tells you that of all the players on that squad, and perhaps of all the players that we didn't know about going into this game, suddenly we knew that this was a goalkeeper that understands how to play international football. He's been in it a long time, and he was going to be the man at the end of the day to keep that point, on their side. And he really came up big. The saves were saves that I think, we could see any goalkeeper making, but you've got to be in the right position. Your reflexes have to be on point, and you have to be able to do that consistently. And so I think that's the takeaway from Cape Verde. They were so consistent. And in the end, Spain, it felt like 801 passes, I think, that they completed, 74% possession, and they were running out of ideas at the end of that game. And again, I'm sitting in the press box at the end, and I was like, Spain might lose this game. Like, there was a moment that felt like a Hollywood moment when Cape Verde broke on a transition, and just a poor decision on that transition that I think they could have gotten something out of it and really, truly shocked the world.
Yeah, Felipe, I completely agree with you. And I think Cape Verde's performance is kind of a microcosm of the start of this tournament so far, where, a lot of people were really critical of this expanded format, 48 nations. We're going to find good games in the group stage. But so far, the underdogs are putting up a good fight. And it's made so far, Felipe, for a very interesting and compelling tournament.
I agree. I think, again, I was one of those people, I admitted this yesterday too, and I saw the draw and I saw the games that were coming to Atlanta. I'm based in Atlanta. I was not impressed. I honestly felt like Atlanta, other than getting some knockout games and obviously a huge semifinal, the group stage was something that was very underwhelming. Yes, you're getting Spain, you're getting the European champions twice, but not very good matchups. And I walked out of there with my foot in my mouth, thinking like that was something to really take in. I was emotional at one point watching it. I was sitting in the press, the post-match press area, waiting for Luis de la Fuente, and they had a big screen in there, and it was just shots from outside the stadium, and just the congregation of Cape Verde fans. There's a child on somebody's shoulders, just like bopping up and down with a flag, and like I was watching that, like this is incredible. This is the World Cup, and I agree. I'm not a fan of the expanded format. I think the Germany-Curacao match is one of those where you look at that like, was that really necessary? And then you think, well, I remember Germany beating Brazil 7-1, so maybe we can't be too harsh on Curacao. But I think this is that type of story. Like, there are teams that can compete, and the World Cup is just a completely different animal. The best teams in the world sometimes come out here, and the spotlight can be pretty bright. I thought Spain looked a little nervous, looked like this was their first step onto the big stage as European champions, and they were a bit tentative. That's why I'm really interested to see how Argentina handles this tonight in their first match. A veteran team, a World Cup winning team. Can they come out and really manage that pressure that is surrounding all the big nations at this World Cup?
Felipe.
Real quick, Flex, I got to give you the stat real quick.
Go for
the USA has 3 points. South America so far in the tournament only has 2. So
oh my gosh, such a bad start. Such a bad start for Como, man.
I'm just saying.
Can someone just remind you, this is one game, okay? That's it's true. One game.
That's I'm bringing up. I gotta bring it up while I can.
You do.
Felipe, appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, Felipe. Thank you very much for your insight. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences from yesterday. I'm sure Spain will be fine. Felipe Cardenas there, a friend of the show. It's absolutely
you never know.
Incredible.
That's the part of the world. You never know.
Even he said I left with my foot in my mouth, saying like, I was a bit worried about these games. See, people are doing it. They're like, nah, man, it's too many games, this, that, and the other. But hey, it's been incredible. It's been incredible so far. Right, that's all from us today on the S Word. It's been a fantastic show with myself, Flex.
Thanks for coming in, man. Really appreciate you, man. You held it down. Been an incredible 2 hours hanging out with you, man.
100%. It's been absolutely brilliant. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with plenty more where this came from. Don't forget, you can follow us on the socials at talkSPORT S word. Make sure you guys are following that and hit up, and when he says crazy stuff, just get at him. Will's going to be back soon as well. He says crazy stuff all the time. Get after
We love it, America. America versus the world. Bring it. Just bring it. Like The Rock.
You are watching the S
Just
word.
bring it.
Sponsored by Kelshi. See you later, guys.
From the touchline to the terraces, talkSPORT presents the S Word.